Finding and evaluating deals is the lifeblood of private equity. Before any LBO model is built, before any offer is made, a PE firm must first identify the right company to acquire, and then rigorously verify that the opportunity is as good as it appears. In this video, we break down deal sourcing and due diligence from start to finish. Deal sourcing is the process of identifying potential acquisition targets. In PE, your returns are only as good as the deals you find. Buying a mediocre company at a fair price is rarely enough. Finding a great company at a great price, before competitors do, is where the best PE firms consistently outperform. There are two primary channels for deal flow: proprietary sourcing and intermediated processes. Proprietary deals are ones where the PE firm identifies and approaches a company directly, without an investment banker running a competitive auction. These are often the best deals, because there's no competition and you can negotiate price more favorably. Intermediated processes, also called banker-run processes or auctions, are the most common way PE firms source deals. An investment bank runs a structured process on behalf of a seller, soliciting bids from multiple PE firms and strategic buyers. The highest bidder wins. Competition drives prices up. To source proprietary deals, PE firms build deep sector expertise. They hire former industry executives. They attend conferences. They build relationships with management teams before those teams are ready to sell. They track companies for years before approaching them. Relationship building in PE is never-ending. PE firms organize themselves by sector. One team might focus on healthcare, another on technology, another on industrials. This specialization allows them to identify trends before they become obvious, understand what makes companies in a sector valuable, and build the networks needed for proprietary deal flow. A typical deal sourcing workflow starts with a thesis. The PE team forms a view on a sector. For example, they believe software serving the dental industry is fragmented and ripe for consolidation. They then map all companies in that space, rank them by attractiveness, and prioritize outreach. Cold outreach to business owners or management teams is a real strategy. PE firms send letters, make calls, and request meetings with executives at target companies. Most of these go unanswered. But the few that respond can become proprietary deals. Persistence and professionalism are essential. Management relationships are gold in PE. When a CEO has worked with a PE firm before, whether through a previous portfolio company or a board relationship, they're far more likely to call that firm first when considering a sale. Track record and reputation become powerful sourcing tools at scale. Investment banks and brokers also proactively bring deal ideas to PE firms. When a banker is engaged by a seller, they maintain a target list of likely bidders. PE firms with strong reputations in relevant sectors get earlier information and better access. Relationships with bankers matter enormously. Once a deal is identified, the PE firm signs an NDA and begins reviewing the Confidential Information Memorandum, or CIM, prepared by the sell-side banker. The CIM provides an overview of the business, its financials, market position, and growth opportunities. It's a marketing document, read it critically. After reviewing the CIM, the deal team builds an initial LBO model to assess whether the return profile justifies further pursuit. They form an initial view on valuation, what they'd be willing to pay for the business. If the numbers work, they submit an indication of interest, a non-binding letter expressing their initial bid range. The sell-side process then moves to a management presentation, where the target company's CEO and CFO present their business to each bidder. This is a critical step. PE firms use management presentations to assess the quality of leadership, the depth of the business, and whether management can execute the value creation plan. The management team is often the most important due diligence factor. A world-class business run by a mediocre management team will underperform. A good business run by an exceptional management team will often outperform expectations. PE firms spend enormous effort evaluating people. After management presentations, firms conduct preliminary due diligence and submit a binding bid, the formal offer price and structure. The banker evaluates all bids and typically selects 2 or 3 finalists for full due diligence. Being selected as a finalist is a significant investment of time and resources. Full due diligence is a comprehensive investigation of every aspect of the target company. It's expensive. PE firms spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on advisors for a single deal. And it's time-constrained. Full diligence often takes only 4 to 6 weeks in a competitive process. Financial due diligence is conducted by the deal team and outside accounting advisors. They verify the accuracy of historical financials, normalize EBITDA for one-time items, analyze revenue quality and customer concentration, stress test working capital assumptions, and validate the company's financial reporting quality. Quality of earnings, or QOFE, is the most critical financial due diligence workstream. A QOFE report, prepared by a Big Four or specialized accounting firm, adjusts reported EBITDA to reflect the true recurring earnings power of the business. Sellers often present an inflated EBITDA. The QOFE cuts through this. Commercial due diligence examines the market in which the company operates. Is the market growing or shrinking? How strong is the company's competitive position? What are the key customer retention metrics? Are the growth assumptions in the model reasonable? Outside consulting firms often support this workstream. Legal due diligence covers contracts, litigation, intellectual property, regulatory compliance, and corporate governance. PE firms hire outside law firms to review hundreds, sometimes thousands, of documents in the data room. Significant legal risk can kill a deal or significantly reduce the offer price. Tax due diligence ensures the PE firm understands the target's tax history, obligations, and opportunities. Structuring the acquisition to optimize tax efficiency can create meaningful additional value. Tax advisors also evaluate whether the existing tax structure has any liabilities that could surface post-closing. Operational due diligence evaluates the company's operations, supply chain, IT systems, human capital, facilities, and processes. Are there hidden capital expenditure requirements? Is the IT infrastructure scalable? Are there key employee retention risks? These questions matter enormously for post-close execution. Environmental due diligence is particularly important for industrial or manufacturing businesses. Undisclosed environmental liabilities, contaminated land, regulatory violations, can be extremely expensive. PE firms conduct environmental site assessments and often negotiate specific indemnities for environmental risk. During due diligence, the PE firm also develops its post-acquisition value creation plan, sometimes called the 100-day plan. This document outlines exactly what changes the firm will implement in the first 100 days of ownership: new hires, cost reductions, pricing changes, technology investments, or bolt-on acquisitions. The debt financing process runs in parallel to due diligence. The PE firm works with banks or direct lenders to arrange acquisition financing, negotiating terms, covenant packages, and interest rates. Financing risk is real, market conditions can shift, and banks can pull commitments if the deal deteriorates. Exclusivity is the stage where one finalist is selected and given an exclusive negotiation period, typically 30 to 45 days, to finalize documentation and close the deal. At this point, the seller stops talking to other bidders. Deal teams work around the clock to complete remaining diligence and negotiate the purchase agreement. The purchase agreement, or SPA, is the definitive legal document governing the transaction. It specifies the purchase price, reps and warranties made by the seller, indemnification provisions, closing conditions, and material adverse change clauses. Negotiations over reps and warranties can be intense. Representations and warranties insurance, or RWI, has become nearly universal in PE transactions. Instead of relying on seller indemnities that may be impossible to collect, the buyer purchases an insurance policy that covers breaches of seller reps. This simplifies negotiations and allows sellers to get a cleaner exit. After the SPA is signed and all conditions are satisfied, including regulatory approvals if required, the deal closes. Wires are sent, ownership transfers, and the PE firm takes control of the company. Day 1 of ownership begins the 100-day plan and the value creation journey. Deal sourcing and due diligence are where PE deals are won or lost. The best firms find better deals through superior networks and sector expertise. They conduct deeper diligence and find risks others miss. And they build conviction in their value creation plans before they sign a check. That rigor, from the first meeting to closing, is what separates top-performing PE firms from the rest.